The rain-slicked trail turned treacherous under our boots as Valentina slipped, her hand grasping mine in a desperate clutch that sent my heart racing, not just from fear, but from the electric spark I'd buried for years. "Gianna, I can't do this anymore," she gasped, her voice barely audible over the howling wind, and in that moment as we huddled against the cliffside, she leaned in and confessed the words that shattered my world. "I'm not straight and I've been in love with you all along." My breath caught, the mountain adventure we'd planned as friends now a precipice of unspoken desires, forcing me to confront the truth I'd hidden even from myself. I froze, the weight of her words pressing down like the fog rolling in from the valley below. Valentina's eyes, usually so steady and composed, now brimmed with a vulnerability I'd never seen, pleading for understanding in the midst of this storm. How had I missed the signs? All those late-night talks in our college dorm, her lingering glances during group outings, the way she'd always chosen me over dates with guys who seemed perfect on paper. But I was the one who'd kept my feelings locked away, convinced she was straight, untouchable, a safe harbor for my unrequited crush. Now here on this rugged peak in the Appalachian Mountains, everything flipped. My mind raced. What if this ruins us? What if it's just the adrenaline talking? Yet deep down a flicker of hope ignited, dangerous and irresistible. We made it back to the cabin as the sun dipped low, casting golden hues over the wooden porch where we collapsed, exhausted but alive with tension. Valentina paced, her short black hair disheveled from the wind, her pink sweater mud-streaked but still clinging to her like a second skin. "Gianna, say something," she urged, her voice cracking. I sat there staring at my boots, my auburn waves falling like a curtain over my face. Inside, my thoughts churned. I've loved her since freshman year, but coming out to my conservative family would be suicide. They'd disown me, just like they threatened my cousin when he brought home his boyfriend. And Valentina? Her parents were even stricter. Italian immigrants who dreamed of grandkids and a traditional wedding. This confession wasn't just personal. It was a grenade lobbed into our lives. "I don't know what to say," I finally whispered, my voice trembling. "Val, we've been best friends for 6 years. If we cross this line..." She stopped pacing and knelt in front of me, her brown eyes locking onto my green ones. "That's exactly why it could work. We've built this foundation. But hiding it? That's what's killing me." Her words hit like a punch. I thought about the times I'd dated guys to fit in, to silence the whispers in my head that I was different. Valentina had done the same, playing the perfect straight girl, but now the mask was off. The cabin felt smaller, the air thicker with unspoken fears. What if society rejects us? What if our friends turn away? But as she took my hand again, that spark returned, pulling me toward a decision that could either save or destroy us. That night sleep evaded me. I lay on the creaky bed, listening to Valentina's steady breathing across the room, my mind a whirlwind of what-ifs. Why now? Why here in the middle of nowhere where escape wasn't an option? Part of me wanted to bolt, to pretend it never happened, but another part, the honest part, yearned to explore this. Growing up in a small town in Ohio, I'd learned to suppress anything that didn't fit the mold. My parents, devout Catholics, had drilled into me the importance of family, tradition, normalcy. Coming out would mean losing their approval, maybe even their love. And for Valentina, whose family ran a tight-knit restaurant in New York, the stakes were higher. Her father had once said, "No daughter of mine will bring shame to this house." Shame. That word echoed in my head. A barrier I'd have to shatter if I chose her. The next morning, over coffee on the porch, the conversation turned raw. "I tried to ignore it," Valentina admitted, her cup shaking slightly. "Dated that guy from work last year, remember? But every time it felt wrong. Like I was lying to myself." I nodded, recalling how I'd felt the same during my brief flings. "Me too," I confessed. "But Val, what about our families? Mine would freak out." She set her cup down, her expression hardening. "We don't have to tell them yet. We can figure this out together." Sounded simple, but I knew better. Secrets like this fester, especially in a world quick to judge. Still, as we packed up to hike again, a tentative excitement built. Maybe this was our chance. But doubt lingered. Was I ready to pay the price? As we ascended a steeper trail, the physical strain mirrored my inner turmoil. Sweat beaded on my forehead, my legs burning, but it was nothing compared to the ache in my chest. Valentina led the way, her movements graceful even in fatigue, and I couldn't help but admire her strength. "What if we try?" I called out, my voice echoing off the rocks. She turned, a small smile breaking through. "That's all I've wanted." In that moment, we shared our first tentative kiss, hidden by the trees, a mix of fear and exhilaration. It felt right, but as we pulled away, reality crashed in. Phones buzzed with missed calls from home. Her mother checking in, mine reminding me of Sunday dinner. The world outside this mountain waited, ready to test us. Back at base camp that evening, the high faded. We sat by the fire, the crackling flames illuminating our faces. "This changes everything," I said, voicing the fear aloud. Valentina nodded, her eyes distant. "I know. But isn't it worth it?" "Worth it?" I pondered the potential fallout. Friends drifting away, jobs at risk in our conservative fields. Me in education, her in finance. Society's gaze always prying, labeling. Yet, holding her hand, I felt a resolve forming. We decided to keep it secret for now, easing into this new reality. But secrets have a way of unraveling. And as we drove back to the city the next day, I couldn't shake the feeling that we'd started something irreversible. Arriving in New York felt like stepping into a pressure cooker. The bustling streets, so alive, now seemed judgmental. I dropped Valentina off at her apartment, our goodbye lingering too long, charged with unspoken promises. Alone in my own place, I stared at the ceiling, replaying the weekend. Had I made a mistake? The hook of her confession pulled me in, but now the line tugged, threatening to drag me under. My phone rang, my sister oblivious, chatting about family plans. I faked cheerfulness, but inside guilt gnawed. How long could I hide this? Valentina texted. "Miss you already." My heart swelled, but so did the fear. This was just the beginning. The weeks following our mountain trip blurred into a secretive whirlwind, each stolen moment with Valentina feeling like a victory against the odds, yet laced with the poison of deception. I'd catch myself smiling at work, replaying her touch in my mind, only to snap back when a colleague mentioned dating apps or family expectations. One evening, as we met in a dimly lit cafe far from our usual haunts, Valentina leaned in, her voice low. "Gianna, we can't keep sneaking around forever. It's eating at me." Her words mirrored my own turmoil, but admitting it aloud felt like inviting disaster. I sipped my coffee, avoiding her gaze. Inside, the conflict raged. I loved her deeply, in a way that made colors brighter and silences meaningful, but the thought of coming out terrified me. My parents had raised me with clear lines: marriage, kids, stability. Anything else was a deviation, a sin in their eyes. "What if we lose everything?" I whispered back. Valentina's hand brushed mine under the table, a risky move in public. "We might lose more by not trying." Her determination was admirable, but it pressured me. She came from a family where emotions ran hot, arguments loud but forgiving. Mine, silent disapproval that cut deeper than words. That night, back home, I paced my apartment, the city lights flickering like accusatory eyes. Why her? Why now, when I'd finally settled into a life that looked normal from the outside? Teaching high school English paid the bills, and my students saw me as the cool, relatable Miss Rossi. If word got out, parents might complain, the school board might question my influence. And Valentina, climbing the ladder at her investment firm, finance was cutthroat, conservative. A lesbian relationship could stall her career. Yet, denying this felt like suffocating. I called her, voice shaky. "I want this, Val." But slowly. She agreed, but I heard the hesitation, the first crack in our unity. The strain showed in small ways. At a group dinner with friends, one joked about setting Valentina up with a guy from his office. She laughed it off, but her eyes met mine across the table, a silent plea. I forced a smile, but inside jealousy burned. Later, alone in her car, she vented. "I hate pretending. It's like I'm back in the closet." I nodded, but my response was cautious. "We have to be smart about this." Smart. Safe. Words that masked my fear. Deep down, I wondered if I was holding her back. If my reluctance was a form of betrayal. Family pressure mounted subtly. My mother called, excited about a church event. "Bring a nice boy next time," she teased, her words a dagger. I mumbled excuses, hanging up with a heaviness in my chest. Valentina faced worse. Her father grilled her about her single status during Sunday dinners. "You're 26, Valentina. Time to settle down." He'd say, oblivious to her pain. She confided in me one night, tears streaming. He'd never understand. To him, this is unnatural. I held her, but my comfort felt hollow. Was I strong enough for both of us? A turning point came at a work party. Valentina attended as my friend, but the alcohol loosened inhibitions. We danced too close, laughed too intimately. A coworker noticed, pulling me aside. "You two seem close." Panic surged. "Just friends," I lied, but the seed was planted. That night, arguing in whispers outside, Valentina exploded. "Why are you so ashamed?" Her words stung because they were true. "I'm not ashamed of you," I retorted. "I'm scared." But fear looked a lot like shame from her side. The argument lingered, creating distance. Days passed with terse texts, missed calls. I threw myself into work, grading papers late into the night, but thoughts of her intruded. What if I lose her because of my cowardice? The irony twisted. I'd hidden my sexuality for years, and now with someone who reciprocated, I was still hiding. A friend from college, openly gay, advised over lunch, "Secrets destroy relationships." His words echoed, pushing me toward a decision. Reconciliation came unexpectedly. Valentina showed up at my door, rain-soaked, eyes red. "I can't do this halfway," she said. We talked for hours, peeling back layers of hurt. "I love you enough to fight for this," she declared. I pulled her close, whispering, "Me too." That night marked a shift. We agreed to tell a few trusted friends, testing the waters. The first confession, to my roommate Sarah, went well. "About time," she laughed, hugging us. Relief washed over me, but it was short-lived. Word spread subtly. A mutual friend confronted me. "Is it true? You and Val?" I nodded, bracing for judgment. Instead, support came, but not without questions. "What about your families?" The reminder soured the moment. Valentina's side was trickier. Her brother suspected, probing during a family call. "Who's this Gianna you always mention?" She deflected, but the net tightened. As months passed, the secrecy weighed heavier. We attended pride events incognito, masks of anonymity, but it felt disingenuous. Inside, I battled. Am I betraying my true self by hiding? Or protecting us? Valentina pushed for more openness, arranging a weekend getaway to reconnect. In a cozy cabin upstate, away from prying eyes, we rediscovered the spark. "This is what I want forever," she murmured. But reality intruded. A call from her mother, insisting on meeting that special someone. Panic set in. "We have to tell them eventually," Valentina said. I agreed, but dread coiled in my gut. The decision to come out loomed like a storm. I practiced speeches in the mirror, heart pounding. What if they reject me? What if I lose my job, my place in the world? Valentina faced similar fears, her career on the line in a male-dominated field. Yet her resolve inspired me. "Together," she said, squeezing my hand. But as we planned the revelations, cracks appeared. Differing timelines, clashing fears. An argument erupted. "You're dragging your feet," she accused. "And you're rushing into disaster." I shot back. The words hung damaging. In the aftermath, silence stretched. I reflected alone. This love demands sacrifice, but at what cost? Reconciliation came slowly. Apologies exchanged, but the tension simmered. Society's whispers grew louder. Subtle discriminations at work, judgmental stares in public. It fueled my anger, my determination. Perhaps this was the awakening. Fighting for us meant confronting the world. The dam broke during a family gathering at my parents' house in Ohio, an innocuous barbecue turning into the battleground I dreaded. Valentina had insisted on coming as my friend, but the air crackled with unspoken truths, her presence drawing curious glances from relatives. As we sat around the table, my father joked about my single status. "Gianna, when are you bringing home a husband?" The words ignited the fuse. I glanced at Valentina, her face pale, and in a surge of courage or recklessness, I blurted, "Actually, Dad, I'm in love with Valentina." The silence that followed was deafening. Forks clattering to plates, eyes widening in shock. My mother's hand flew to her chest, whispering, "What do you mean?" Inside, my heart hammered. This is it, the point of no return. I'd rehearsed this, but reality hit harder. My father stood, face reddening. This is a joke, right? We didn't raise you like this. Valentina reached for my hand, but I pulled away instinctively, regret flooding me. The room erupted, accusations of confusion, pleas to think about the family. My sister tried mediating, but the damage was done. We left amid tears and slammed doors, the drive back to New York a tense void. Valentina stared out the window. You pulled away. Do you regret it? Her voice cracked, exposing the hurt. No, I lied at first, then admitted. I'm terrified. Terrified of losing them, of the void their rejection created. That night, alone in my apartment while she went home, I curled up, sobs racking my body. Why did love have to cost so much? The church teachings I'd grown up with clashed with my feelings. Sin versus authenticity. Was I wrong for choosing her? Valentina's family confrontation came next. A Sunday dinner at their Brooklyn home turning explosive. Her father, upon hearing the news, pounded the table. No, this is not happening in my house. Her mother wept, invoking religion and tradition. Valentina stood firm. I love her, Papa. That's not changing. But the fallout was brutal, threats of disownment, calls from extended family condemning her. She called me after, voice broken. They want me to choose them or you. The ultimatum hung like a guillotine. In the ensuing weeks, the pressure mounted. My parents bombarded me with calls, alternating between anger and pleas. Come home, we'll get you help, my mother said, implying therapy to fix me. It infuriated me, fueling a rebellion I hadn't known I possessed. At work, rumors swirled. A parent complained about my lifestyle, prompting a meeting with the principal. Keep it private, he advised, but the warning stung. Valentina faced worse. Her boss sidelined her from key projects, citing distractions. Society's subtle knives cut deep. Our relationship strained under the weight. Arguments flared. You should have waited, I accused. And live a lie forever, she countered. The betrayals felt mutual, me for hesitating, her for pushing. Yet, in quiet moments we clung to each other, whispering affirmations. We're stronger together, she'd say, but doubt crept in. Friends divided. Some supported, others distanced, whispering about drama. One, a close confidant, confessed. I always suspected, but this changes things. The isolation deepened. A moral crossroads emerged when Valentina's brother offered an olive branch, but only if she reconsidered. Think about Mama's health, he urged. She wavered, confessing to me. What if I'm hurting them too much? Her words echoed my own guilt. Inside I battled, is love selfish if it causes pain? We attended therapy, unpacking layers of internalized homophobia, societal pressure. The sessions revealed depths, my fear of abandonment, her need for validation. Progress came slowly, but breakthroughs happened. I choose us, she declared one day. Yet external forces conspired. A viral social media post from a relative outed us further, drawing online hate. Trolls messaged threats, judgments. It tested our resilience. Why fight this? I despaired one night. Valentina held me. Because it's real. Her conviction reignited mine, but the toll showed. Sleepless nights, lost weight. Family reconciliations teased. My sister reached out, supportive, bridging gaps. But full acceptance eluded. The climax built during a heated confrontation with my parents via video call. We love you, but this is wrong, my father insisted. I pushed back. Love isn't wrong. Denying it is. Tears flowed, walls cracking slightly. Give us time, my mother conceded. It wasn't victory, but a sliver of hope. Valentina's side remained fractured. Her father silent, mother pleading. The asymmetry hurt. Why was my family softening while hers hardened? Betrayal struck from an unexpected angle. A friend, feigning support, leaked details to Valentina's workplace, amplifying scrutiny. Who can we trust? She raged. The incident deepened our bond, but paranoia set in. We relocated temporarily, seeking solace in anonymity. There, in a quiet town, we reflected. The choices we'd made, confessing, fighting, exacted prices, but also liberated. As tensions eased marginally, awakenings dawned. I advocated at school, joining LGBTQ+ groups, finding community. Valentina networked with allies in finance, carving space. But scars remained. lost relationships, shattered illusions. In intimate talks we acknowledged the damage. We've hurt each other, I admitted. But we've grown, she replied. The journey, fraught with confrontations and sacrifices, reshaped us. Healing came in fragments, pieced together amid ongoing storms, as Valentina and I navigated the aftermath of our revelations with a fragile determination that often felt like walking on eggshells. A surprise call from my father marked a shift. "We miss you, Gianna. Can we talk?" His voice, softer than before, hinted at remorse. We met halfway in a neutral cafe, where apologies mingled with lingering judgments. "It's hard for us," he admitted. "But you're our daughter." Tears welled as I explained my love for Valentina. The authenticity it brought. They didn't fully embrace it, but the door cracked open. No more ultimatums, just cautious steps forward. Valentina's family remained a fortress of resistance. Her mother's health declined under stress, a weapon wielded subtly. "You're killing me with this," she claimed during calls. Guilt gnawed at Valentina, manifesting in withdrawn moods. "What if I back down?" she whispered one night. The question terrified me. Would she choose them over us? Inside, I grappled with resentment. Why couldn't she fight harder? But empathy won. Her upbringing, steeped in cultural expectations, made rebellion costlier. "We'll face it together," I assured, but doubt festered. Societal backlash intensified through microaggressions. At a pride parade we attended openly, stares and slurs reminded us of the world's cruelty. A coworker shunned me, citing personal beliefs. Valentina lost a promotion, suspicion pointing to bias. "Is this the price?" she asked, voice breaking. "Yes," I thought, "but one worth paying for freedom." Therapy continued, unveiling mired emotions. My anger at systemic injustice, her internalized shame. "We've been conditioned to hate ourselves," the counselor noted. It sparked fury, then resolve. A betrayal from within our circle deepened the wounds. Sarah, my roommate who'd initially supported us, confessed jealousy. She'd harbored feelings for me. "I thought you'd stay single," she admitted before moving out abruptly. The loss stung, eroding trust. "Everyone has an agenda," Valentina muttered. Paranoia peaked, but it forced us closer, a united front against isolation. Moral dilemmas arose in everyday choices. When invited to a family wedding, we debated attending together. "It'll cause a scene," I worried. Valentina insisted. "Hiding validates their prejudice." We went, hands linked, enduring whispers and cold shoulders. My cousin, the one who'd come out years ago, pulled me aside. "You're brave. It gets better." His words bolstered me, but the evening ended in tears. My aunt's disdainful glare a fresh cut. Valentina's awakening came during a confrontation with her brother. "Papa's heart is breaking," he pleaded. She snapped. "What about mine?" The exchange severed ties temporarily, but liberated her. "I won't apologize for who I am," she declared to me later. Pride swelled, but so did sorrow for her losses. Our love, once a secret flame, now burned openly, scorching barriers but warming our souls. External validations trickled in. A student confided in me. "Seeing you happy gives me hope." It reframed the struggle. Perhaps our pain paved paths for others. Valentina joined advocacy groups, channeling hurt into action. "This is bigger than us," she said. Yet, personal tolls mounted. Sleepless nights pondering what ifs, strained finances from therapy. A high-stakes decision loomed when Valentina's firm offered a transfer to a more progressive office in San Francisco. "It could be a fresh start," she enthused. But it meant uprooting, leaving my job, my tentative family bridges. Inside, conflict raged. Sacrifice my stability for her career? Or hold her back? "I won't go without you," she promised, but the choice weighed heavy. We argued fiercely. "You're asking too much," I cried. "And staying is asking me to suffer," she retorted. The impasse threatened everything. Resolution came through compromise. We'd both apply for opportunities there, building a new life. Packing boxes, I reflected. Love demands adaptation, not stagnation. But as we said goodbyes, pain resurfaced. My parents visited, awkward hugs exchanged. "Be safe," my mother whispered, a tacit acceptance. Valentina's family remained distant, a void she masked with stoicism. The move west symbolized rebirth, San Francisco's vibrant community embracing us. New friends, open workplaces, relief washed over. But echoes of past damages lingered. Nightmares of rejections, moments of insecurity. Do you regret any of it? I asked one evening watching the bay. Valentina shook her head. Regret would mean denying us. Her words healed, but scars reminded of the journey. As we settled, awakenings deepened. I volunteered at youth centers, sharing stories to combat isolation. Valentina mentored young professionals, advocating for inclusivity. Our relationship, forged in fire, strengthened, honest communication replacing secrets. Yet, questions persisted. Had we chosen rightly? The costs, fractured families, lost friends, balanced against gains. Authenticity, love unbridled. In quiet reflections, I pondered the ethics. Is pursuing personal happiness justifiable if it inflicts pain on others? Society's evolution offered hope, but our path highlighted persisting prejudices. Through it all, Valentina remained my anchor, her presence a testament to resilience. The San Francisco fog rolled in like a metaphor for the uncertainties that still shrouded our lives, even as Valentina and I built a semblance of normalcy in our new apartment overlooking the hills. Mornings brought shared coffee and plans, but evenings often dredged up unresolved pains. Calls from home that ended in strained silences, reminders of the chasms we'd created. One such call from my mother tested the fragile peace. We're trying, Gianna, but it's hard. Her words, meant as progress, felt like a backhanded concession, stirring old angers. Valentina's wounds ran deeper. Her father's stubborn silence evolved into occasional terse messages, each a dagger. He asked about you, she shared one day, voice flat. Wanted to know if this phase is over. Phase. The word invalidated everything, fueling her rage. Inside, she confessed. Sometimes I wonder if I should have stayed silent. The admission shook me. Had our love become a burden? My response was fierce. We fought for this. Don't doubt it now. But doubt infected me too. What if the sacrifices outweighed the joys? Professional triumphs offered counterbalance. I landed a teaching position at a progressive school, where my identity was celebrated, not hidden. Valentina thrived in her new role, leading diversity initiatives. This is what freedom feels like, she beamed after a successful presentation. Yet success highlighted contrasts. Back east, we'd been stifled. Here, empowered. It underscored society's uneven landscape, sparking debates between us. Why should location dictate acceptance? I'd argue. Because change is slow, she'd counter, her optimism clashing with my cynicism. A reunion with old friends brought confrontation. Sarah visited, apologies in tow. I was wrong to pull away. We forgave, but trust mended slowly. Others remained distant, their absence a quiet betrayal. People show their true colors, Valentina noted bitterly. The experience awakened a fiercer protectiveness in me. For us, for our community. We marched in protests, voices raised against discrimination, channeling personal hurts into collective action. Family dynamics shifted incrementally. My parents visited, awkward at first but warming. Touring the city, my father admitted. I see how happy you are. It wasn't full endorsement but a step. Valentina's mother called more. Sharing recipes, avoiding the elephant. She's trying, Valentina hoped. But her father's holdout pained, a moral quandary. Forgive unyielding prejudice or demand change. Blood doesn't excuse hate, I argued. She wavered, torn between loyalty and self-respect. A crisis tested our bonds when Valentina's mother fell ill, demanding her return east. I have to go, she said, packing frantically. Alone, I panicked. Would distance unravel us? Or worse, would family pressure sway her? Promise you'll come back, I pleaded. Her kiss reassured, but fears swirled. During her absence, I reflected deeply. Our love had demanded so much. Identities reshaped, alliances severed. Was it ethical to prioritize personal fulfillment over familial harmony? She returned changed, eyes shadowed. Papa finally talked. He doesn't approve, but he won't cut me off. Relief mingled with resentment. Conditional acceptance felt hollow. It's a start, she insisted. But the trip unearthed buried traumas. They still see me as broken. We held each other through the nights, processing the damage. Therapy helped, but healing was nonlinear, good days eclipsed by regressions. As time passed, our story inspired others. A young cousin came out to me, seeking advice. "You're my role model," she said. It humbled, reminding of the ripple effects. Valentina mentored a colleague facing similar struggles, her empathy born from experience. "We've turned pain into purpose," she reflected. Yet the costs lingered. Emotional exhaustion, lingering insecurities. In quiet moments I'd wonder, could we have navigated differently, minimizing hurt? The ultimate awakening came during a heated discussion about marriage. "Let's do it," Valentina proposed impulsively. Excitement surged, but so did fears. Family reactions, societal validations. Planning exposed divides. She wanted a big celebration. I favored intimacy. Compromises forged, but the process revealed growth. We communicated openly. No more secrets. On our anniversary, overlooking the Golden Gate, we exchanged vows privately, rings symbolizing commitment. Joy overflowed, but tempered by absences. Her parents declined invitations, a fresh wound. Their loss, I consoled. Yet inside, sorrow mixed with triumph. We'd chosen each other, defying odds. Reflecting on the journey, from that mountain confession to this pinnacle, the transformations were profound. Conflicts had scarred but strengthened, forcing confrontations with self, family, society. Damages endured, but so did love's resilience. In the end, the path was fraught with right and wrong turns, each a lesson in humanity's complexities. Was it right to pursue a love that upended lives? Or should societal harmony have taken precedence over personal truth?